Oh. Half my forehead's missing. Can you see it?
Maddie, I'm gonna wait out here in case I have to talk. So.
Yeah, we'll come grab you. 10 minutes.
Welcome to the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship Practice Day Press Conference featuring Sweet 16 team NC State. We will hear from student athlete Elissa Cunane first, followed by head coach Wes Moore. We will get started in approximately 2 minutes. To the media, just a reminder, we will be limited to 10 minutes with the student athlete as well as 10 minutes with the head coach. Please go ahead and raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. And when you are called on for your question, please unmute yourself, state your name and affiliation, and then follow with your question. Thank you, everyone, for participating today. We are now joined by Elissa Cunane, and we will open it up for questions. First question is from Justin.
Hi, Elissa. How's it going? This is the program's third straight Sweet 16 appearance, but it's your second appearance in the Sweet 16. I know you would have gone to the tournament last year before it was canceled and everything, but what do you think is different for you personally, you know, last time being a freshman in the Sweet 16 and this time being a junior?
You know, first of all, can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay,
Can you hear
cool.
me?
Yeah. I think that this year I'm just older than I was freshman year. I have a lot more responsibilities on the team this year as a leader. I'm like one of the main producers on the team, so I think that kind of changes from freshman year. Just have to lead the team a little bit more. I think expectations are also a little bit higher this year. I think we know that we can perform a lot more and go deeper than we did. Obviously, this is the point we got to my freshman year, and I really believe that we can go further than we did freshman year.
And just as a quick follow-up, you mentioned you're a leader now and your age being the main difference between this time and last time, but what do you think has changed about your game, and what do you think you've learned over these past 2 years since that first Sweet 16 appearance?
I think my game has become a little bit more versatile. I've been able to expand my shots at the three-point line a little bit, and I also think that I've gotten better at passing out of double teams. You know, freshman year, people didn't really know what to expect, and so I could just have my way in the paint. And now I get double, triple teams everywhere we go. So I think I've had to learn from that, and that's opened up my teammates a lot more, which is why we've had such a spread of scoring.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next question is from Andrew Schnittick.
Elissa, I wanted to ask you about two of your teammates. You know, you just talked about this being your second Sweet 16, but really for Jakia and Jada, even though they are obviously they're sophomores with the way last year ended, this is their first NCAA tournament. What does it say about them that they've been able to step right onto this stage for the first time and have the production that they have?
Yeah, they haven't faltered at all. JB and Jakia are walking in here like they own this tournament already. And I think I'm just really proud of them because they've worked really hard for this. They worked really hard freshman year and then didn't get to have the postseason. So they got to make up for some lost time their freshman year. And I think that they've been really productive for us all season. And we have, like I said earlier, we have a balanced scoring attack. So one of them can be producing, one of them cannot be producing. But they're always consistent for us. And I think that's what's carried us this far.
Next question is from the Associated Press.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Hi, this is Jim Vertuno with the Associated Press. Now that you've been down there for quite a while, how is life in the tournament cocoon going, and what's the team doing to keep itself entertained when you're not winning games on the court?
It's been pretty sweet so far. We had an off day yesterday since we had 2 games, so that was nice. In our conference room, that's, I guess, where we spend most of our time watching film, eating, and we have like a little court set up in there. We also have an arcade game. So Coach Moore has been beat multiple times and knocked out. I'm back-to-back-to-back champions, no biggie though. We've been playing lots of Uno and spades, and just hanging out with each other when we can since we haven't been able to see each other that often. A lot of us have been watching games. Like yesterday, we just watched games all day long. So it's been sweet. We've been getting good treatment, and I think we're just ready, and like we feel really ready for these next couple games.
Real quickly, are you getting tired of each other yet?
Not yet. I think it's like maybe borderline, but no, not yet. Still love them.
Next question is from Chantel.
Hey Lisa, Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. This season was obviously kind of a weird season between like a lot of people had online classes and practice, and it sounds like a lot of players didn't do much outside of that. So I'm curious, with more downtime, do you feel like you watched just more college basketball this season on TV than maybe you did in a typical year? And if so, did you find yourself watching mostly ACC stuff, or do you kind of branch out and watch a lot of other conferences as well?
You know, I was able to watch more. I think I definitely watched more ACC than anybody just because those are the teams that we are going to be playing against our next opponents, and then just like knowing people throughout the ACC. I also think that especially in the postseason with all the games being televised on ESPN and major networks, that has made it so much easier to watch games. During the regular season, there would be sometimes the games were blacked out. And like we can't go to them, so what do you want us to do? But I for sure watched a lot more basketball, mainly ACC, and then I was able to like rewatch our games a lot too, just with the downtime.
So a quick follow-up to that then. You know, a lot of people were talking about the strength of different conferences this season, and without as many non-conference matchups, there just wasn't that opportunity to compare conferences. With 4 Big Ten teams in the Sweet 16, did you have any sort of thoughts on the Big Ten coming into the NCAA tournament?
I mean, I think with the ACC coming in, we had the most teams that even made the tournament out of all the conferences. So I think that's one testament to the ACC being the best conference. And I think you just saw day in and day out the battles we had to fight. So I think now in the Sweet 16, the Big Ten has their people. Everyone has their respective teams. So I think we just have to keep going and do it for the rest of the ACC.
Thank you.
Next question is from Andrew Chernoff.
Hey, Lisa, it's Andrew Chernoff at WLKY in Louisville, Kentucky. I guess just first of all, what are you guys expecting to see from IU? And is there another team that you guys have played that they remind you of this season?
Honestly, we haven't started scouting them yet. Like I said, yesterday was an off day, and we'll mainly focus on ourselves probably for this first practice. But watching the game yesterday, I think it was yesterday, they're very physical, and they're great shooters from the outside. They're a very fundamentally solid team. So I think that we're really going to be focusing on taking care of the ball ourselves and playing lockdown defense. And I think our defense will turn into offense, which is kind of the foundation that we've played on all season long.
Next question is from Brett.
Sorry, I had to unmute. Brett Friedlander with the North State Journal. Elissa, what does it mean to you guys for Coach Moore to be named National Coach of the Year and finally get some national recognition like that?
It's amazing, you know, what Coach Moore has done with this program, back-to-back ACC champions, leading us to multiple Sweet 16s, and the chance to go beyond this year. He's just a great leader for us, on and off the court. He really just molds us into the players and people that he wants us to be. And I think he knows the sky's the limit. In practice, he says, if it's not perfect, it's not right, which is a crazy standard, but it's his standard. And he doesn't let us settle at all. He humbles us, and I think that's what's kept us going this season. We haven't ever been complacent about where we're at because Coach Moore is always pushing us to do every little thing right. And I'm super thankful for that. I'm super thankful for his coaching, and I'm glad that everyone's now recognizing it and giving him the respect he deserves.
And as a quick follow-up, we only see him through Zooms and press conferences and during games. Could you tell us something about him that we don't know, that you guys see all the time?
Yeah, he loves his tea. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Everywhere we go, he's carrying around his tea. We got jugs delivered the other day to the conference room, and I promise you he took a whole jug and ran out of the room. So Coach Moore loves his tea. He's from Texas, so that's a given, but it's pretty funny.
Thank you very much. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Next question is from Jonas.
Hey, Elissa. I saw you tweet the other day a picture. It's like a retweet of your mom posting a picture outside of a building in San Antonio. But what I want to ask you along those lines was, I know the team is around each other. You guys are quarantined and you can't really interact with your families like that, I assume. Has that been tough that you're miles away from home? Your family's right there in the same city, but you can't interact with them in your downtime?
Yeah, it has been tough. I'm honestly really blessed that my mom was able to make the trip out here. She came for the first round. She's going to come back for the later rounds as well. So it was really sweet of her to come. I think it's tough, though, because, like, my dad doesn't like traveling, so my dad's not going to make the trip. My brother has to work. So on, like, the biggest stage of our life, it's really tough to not have family here. And I think also not being able to see them, we waved all of our fans in the stands, but that's it. And so it's really unfortunate, but at the same time, we're here and we're playing in the NCAA tournament, which is an honor because we didn't get to do that last year. So for a couple weeks, we just know that we have to lock down and understand the sacrifices we have to make to try to do something special.
We have time for one more question, and that will be from Justin Williams.
Hey, Elissa. Justin Williams with the Wolfpacker. But I was going to ask, with all the downtime that you guys have you been able to watch the other tournament games, particularly in your bracket? Because I know it's still technically a chalk Sweet 16 in your bracket, but there was a lot of close games last night. So I don't know if you've been watching the rest of your bracket.
Yeah, for sure. I've been trying to watch every game that I can, flipping back through channels when there's a commercial. Yesterday, I think I got to watch almost all the games. Shout out to them being televised. So I've for sure been keeping an eye on everybody and all the close games. It's really shown just March Madness is living up to his expectations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elissa, thank you for your time today. And we will be joined momentarily by head coach Wes Moore. To the media, please use this time to raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. Just a reminder, we will be limited to 10 minutes for this interview. When you are called upon for your question, please be sure to unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation first before asking your question. We are now joined by head coach Wes Moore, and our first question will come from Andrew Chernoff.
Hey, Wes, this is Andrew Chernoff with WLKY in Louisville. You started at NC State a year before Terry started at IU. You know what she's been able to do there. What's your take on what she's been able to do with this IU basketball program?
Yeah, obviously I've had an opportunity to see them a bunch through the last several years. And actually one of our former players who just graduated about three years ago, Ashley Williams, is on her staff as an assistant coach. So due to that connection, followed them some. I just think they're always well prepared, very well coached, and their kids are, have high basketball IQs. They very, very skilled, very fundamental, and again, very tough. So I know we'll have our hands full for sure.
Next question is from Alex Sawyer.
Yeah, Wes, Alex Sawyer with Pack Pride. I was actually going to ask you about Ashley Williams, just kind of being on that other sideline on Saturday. Have you spoken to her at all about that? But also just what do you think that's going to be like, having her over there, getting to see her again, but now in this stage of her life?
Yeah, like I said, she is on a fast track. Let me just say, first of all, I think she, NC State's a great engineering school. Ashley graduated with an engineering degree with a GPA of about a 3.9. And then she comes into my office her senior year and says, "Hey, Coach, I think I want to go into coaching." And I said, "Well, Ashley, until this moment, I thought you were a very intelligent person. But no, it definitely carries over. She has a passion for the game. And so because of that, she works really hard at it. And then, like I said, she's very intelligent. So she's been moving up the ladder quickly, and I could see her being a head coach at a very young age. Definitely impressive young lady. So, again, she played for us just a few years ago, so she knows about everything we do. So that's going to be interesting too. I might have to switch up the signals a little bit or disguise things, and try to be as covered up as I can be. But again, definitely will be interesting with her over there on the other sideline. But very proud of her. Outstanding young lady.
Next question is from Bridget.
Hey, Coach. I know you're focused on the game, but what did it mean for you to get that recognition as Coach of the Year? And, it seems like a long time coming.
Well, it's just very humbling. You look at the coaches around this country and our great game, and it's very humbling. That's all I can say. And let me just say, let's face it, it's a team award. It starts with the players. They're the ones. You can draw up all these little cute plays and have all this great scheme and stuff, but they're the ones that get it done. And then the staff, the assistant coaches, the time they put in preparation, recruiting, and they get very little credit, and they're awesome. I think we've been very prepared going into games, and staff has a lot to do with that. So, but I'm very proud of it, and I just found out. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it had Pat Summitt's name on it, and that makes it even better because I have a lot of respect for Pat, and she had a great influence on me. So. Very appreciative of the WBCA and the coaches.
Next question is from the Associated Press.
Hey, Coach. This is Jim Vertuno with the Associated Press. Your team's been down there for quite a while now. I'm wondering, how are things going in the Cocoon, and how's your team keeping itself entertained? It sounds like you're participating in some arcade games with them. Is that right?
Well, again, I know this is tough. You bring 64 teams into one place. I grew up in Dallas, so I'm very proud of Texas and San Antonio and what they're doing. I know we had a couple of hiccups there early, but you got to respect the way they corrected them and have made things better. And, they've, provided a riverboat trip for the team. They provided a private tour of the Alamo. So they've had some things to do, as much as you can in this environment. So, again, very thankful to the NCAA and the city of San Antonio and the committee and the job they've done and pulling this all together. And, yeah, our players, we've got great kids, great young ladies. And so if you're going to be confined and solid quarantine, whatever, you want to do it with great people, and so that's what's made it good. And you're right, I've lost track. I didn't realize we'd been here that long. I didn't realize what day of the week it was yesterday. So it's a different world that we're in. But again, it's been they've made the best of the situation as possible.
Next question is from Mike.
Good morning, Coach Morris.
Morning.
Mike Toper with Spectrum. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I wanted to ask you, after A&T, you had talked about wanting your team to kind of get their mojo back. And I know it's the quality of the teams that you're playing, but the last few games you guys have found yourself down in the first half and battling. Has there been a message as you approach this next game about having a sense of urgency or just trying to get out to a better start than you guys had wanted to, or is that just the quality of teams you're playing?
Well, I think it's a combination. All the teams here, are going to be, very well prepared, very talented, and are going to bring it. I mean, it's that time of year. But I agree. We do need to get off to better starts. We've done it all year, and we've been able to come back. But I always say, if you play with fire enough, you're eventually going to get burned. So we need to make sure we're a little more focused and ready from the tip. We've talked before about how we're really locked in the second half or the fourth quarter or whatever. But we've got to be locked in from the tip. So, we'll definitely talk about that and try to get focused on getting off to a better start. But again, these kids have a lot of confidence. So if they do fall behind, they still believe that they're going to be able to get it done. And I believe in them as well.
Next question is from Andrew Schnitker.
Wes, I wanted to ask you about Jakia and Jada. I feel like the easy thing to forget is that even though they're sophomores, because of the way last year ended, this is their first NCAA tournament. What does it say about them that they've been able to step onto this stage for the first time and do what they've done?
Yeah, let's try to keep that as quiet as possible. Maybe they won't think about it. But no, Jakia has always been able to step up in big moments. And even last year as a freshman in the ACC tournament, I thought she came up big. And, I think, too, your approach, I mean, it's the same. It's as boring as it is. It's, the process, preparing for the next opponent, preparing for the next game, the preparation that goes into it as far as film and scout and on the court, things like that. So I think you try to make it as normal as you can, and it's, it's just the next game. And hopefully your focus is on that and playing the best you can.
Next question is from Justin Williams.
Coach Justin Williams with the Wolfpacker. I know you said on Monday you're taking KJ's situation day by day, but now it's 3 days later. Have there been any updates on Kayla Jones? How's she feeling?
Yeah, I think still the same. We're just going to have to see how she feels on game day. And, I know the doctors and her will have to figure all that out, where she's at. I think a lot of it has to do with being able to tolerate the pain and discomfort. But, the doctors also are going to make sure that there's no risk involved and that it can't do any damage or anything like that. So really, I'm just leaving that up to medical staff and we'll find out. Like I said, it may be Friday night or Saturday before we know. But definitely would love to have her out there, a senior, first team All-ACC. And I've said all year, she's our glue. She holds us together. So proud of Jada Boyd, how she played and how the team stepped up without her. But we'd definitely love to have her back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question, and that will come from Brett.
Hi, Wes. Brett Friedlander, North State Journal. Last time we talked to you, you mentioned how when you were at Chattanooga, there was a ceiling and that you wanted to move up to a higher level. What was it about the NC State job in particular that led you to believe that you could get to, that higher ceiling and get to where you are and where you're headed now? And then as a quick follow-up, Elissa kind of told on you and said that you run on high-octane tea. And I was wondering if you had a go-to brand and how much you drink.
Well, we are in Texas, okay? Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully it's okay for me to throw that up there. But I've got me some unsweet tea with lemon in there. And, yes, that's what keeps me going, especially this time of year. But and what was your first question? You got my focus off.
What about the NC State job? Led you to believe that was the one that you could reach the higher ceiling.
Well, first of all, they offered me the job. So that always helps. But I had a good connection there. I was with Kay Yao for 2 years as an assistant, the legendary Kay Yao, and then her sister Debbie Yao was the AD at the time. So I had a little bit of in there, but. I'd been here as an assistant. I knew, you know, they have all the resources and all the support you need to compete at the highest level, and felt like, you know, we could recruit and get the top players we wanted in here. And that's the thing. I want to be somewhere where I can recruit unbelievable young ladies, outstanding citizens, if you want to call that, high character kids, but that are also talented. And I think some places you may not have that ability to recruit both character and ability. And at NC State, we can attract those kind of kids. So it's been unbelievable. I've been so blessed. You know, my 15 years at Chattanooga were unbelievable. I love those people there. But now at NC State, look what's going on. We got a lot of momentum as a program, and we're excited about right now, and we're excited about where we're headed.
Thanks a lot, Wes, and best of luck.
Thank y'all. Cheers.
Thank you, Coach, for your time.
Thank you.
That's it for this news conference. You can find a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thanks again for joining us, and have a good day.